We've got a special guest on the program this week, Jordan Hyland, the co-founder of Complex eSports, and you're a man of many hats. You also coach soccer there at Portsmouth West. So how do you do it, man? Busy schedule.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know how I do it. It's my fault. My fall is really busy. Of course, I spend my weekends at the complex putting our eSports stuff together, spend my week on the soccer field.
Wow, that's rough.
Yeah, it's a busy schedule for sure.
Definitely fun, though.
Oh, yeah, I love it, man. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
I know you went to Shawnee State with Kevin and I back in the day. It seems like forever ago now, though.
Yeah, I know. It seems like such a long time ago. It was just 2-3 years ago.
It really does. But
yeah.
I'm kind of wondering, because you're over there at the complex now with the eSports thing, did you ever think when you were a kid growing up, because it's kind of new to me, that video games would be at this competitive level, so much so that it's now a sport?
Honestly, no, and I never even dreamed that I would be involved in it, honestly. Growing up, I was always really involved in sports. I played soccer, but I was really involved in baseball, basketball. Loved professional sports. And a few years ago, I just casually played video games. I met some people online that played these things called game battles. And I heard this, I'm like, my first instinct was like, what is this? This is kind of dumb. You're playing video games competitively. Then as I got into it, I realized there are millions and millions of people around the world that are involved in it, and it's actually it's booming right now. The industry in the last couple of years has doubled, maybe even tripled at this point, and it's almost its growth is almost on par with this actual sports industry now.
Wow, that's crazy to think about. And now it's here at our community. I know you guys started over there in 2015. How did this all come about?
Well. A little background. In 2015, I ran a soccer league at the complex. We had an adult soccer league that summer, and at the same time, they were renting shops out to people around the community who just wanted to start their own business. And one of the guys that opened a shop was an old classmate of mine, Tyler McGraw. We were childhood buddies. He opened a card shop called Tyler CCGs, and when the building one day, conversation came up, hey, have you heard of competitive gaming, esports? Yeah, like, why don't we try this out? This is a perfect opportunity. So December, we held our first 2 versus 2 Call of Duty tournament. We had, I believe, 10 teams show up, and from there, everyone came back, and it's just blown up since then.
And you guys have the biggest event maybe in the history of the complex esports over there coming up on December 2nd. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, on December 2nd, as been said, we have a 4 versus 4 Call of Duty World War II event. It's going to be the second of its kind, to my knowledge, in the entire country, actually. For those of you not aware of competitive Call of Duty, which I'm sure most people aren't, there's a pretty big scene behind it. We have people that travel from as far as New York, Chicago, Canada, Washington, D.C., and the way it works, everyone pays their entry for it, just kind of how typical sports tournament works. And then at the end of the day, we play out a tournament, we play out a double elimination tournament. When we have the last 2 teams standing, we pay out whatever's left of the entry fee. The winning team for December 2nd is going to take home $2,000.
Wow.
Yeah, and second place is going to take home $800. The plan is to have 16 teams. We're getting there. We're still getting signups in, so hopefully we'll hit that.
I know when you were telling Kevin and I about this event, you said things get pretty intense over there. What's the atmosphere like for someone who's not familiar with competitive gaming?
Oh man, it's a different world, honestly. It's not something you expect. You see professional sports, people get angry at each other, they get in each other's faces. It's the same thing. Honestly, people will get up and scream at each other. If someone makes a big play in the game, they let you know about it. They'll tell you how bad you are, how much better they are than you, and it gets intense. It's not something that you're expecting. You expect people to just be sitting there, casually playing a video game, having fun. No, it's not that at all.
No ejections, though, right?
Hopefully not. We have security on hand just in case.
All right. Well, how much do you think this sport can really grow as a whole? I know we kind of touched about it, but it seems like it's destined to keep growing.
Oh yeah. It's going to continue to grow. I actually did my senior research project in college on it, and at the time, I should have the numbers on hand, but I believe it was expected to be a $2 billion industry by last year, and I actually believe it exceeded that. So it's actually growing more than the actual sports industry at this point. So
wow. Crazy to believe. I never
Yeah.
would have thought that for sure.
Yeah,
And it
for
seems
sure.
like the growth of it here is it's in a good spot because you've got Shawnee State with the great gaming program there as well. They've added an eSports team also. So what do you think that means for the university as well as the community?
Well, I believe that it's a good move on Shawnee's part. At the collegiate level, esports are taking off. And League of Legends, I would say, is arguably the most popular esport in the world. And in the United States, it's a little bit lacking, but not too bad. I think it'll get the university as a whole a lot of attention. You know, it'll put it on the map as an esports friendly university. And I think honestly it will help attract attention, and possibly help expand the student body and get more students here.
And that video game design program over there is a great program, so I'm excited to
Yeah.
see what that can do for the university as well. Well, Jordan, thank you
Yeah.
so much for coming out to the show, and I'm sure we'll have you back in the future for some soccer talk as well.
No, I hope so.
And we'll be sure to check out that event over there on the west
Yeah.
side December 2nd.
Sounds good, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thank you. You have a good one.
Yeah, you too.